What's up, everybody? My name is Lance. I'm the host of the Health and Real Estate Podcast. And today's guest is Ashley Harwood. I met her through KW Wellness. And I thought I'd bring her on because she has a super interesting story and perspective in real estate. So she is an agent in the Boston area. She's also a real estate trainer and coach. And she is a published author. She wrote a book called Move Over Extroverts. And we're going to get into that because real estate, everyone thinks it's a very extroverted industry, but she teaches you ways how to be successful as a real estate agent as an introvert. So, with that being said, how's it going, Ashley? And what got you into real estate?
Hi, thank you for having me. It's going well. It's a very rainy day here in Boston. Um, so I got into real estate in 2013, and I had always thought about real estate ever since I was a kid. It's weird. I didn't grow up in the business. No one in my family is in real estate, but I just had this fascination with houses and pricing and why is this house smaller but it's more expensive? And I would just sit there and watch the TV, the listings, and read the newspaper. I don't know, I was weird, but then I finally got into it as a career when I was at a point in my life where I could have a little bit of time, without having a solid income. Because as we know, it takes time.
Hmm. Definitely. And were there any misconceptions, like when you first got into real estate, did you know that you actually had to like put yourself out there and lead generate and market and prospect? Like, did you know all that before getting into real estate?
I did, I was able to find the MREA book, and I read that even before I got my license. So I had a pretty good idea as to what was involved. I didn't know how hard it would be, and I didn't know how much time it would take, but I learned that very quickly. So I had an idea, but when I first got into real estate, I did not know that I was an introvert. So that was the challenge
No,
is the not knowing and not being able to take the necessary steps to really take care of myself and my energy.
definitely. I definitely feel that. And it's funny because I also do a lot of like new agent recruiting at Keller Williams. And a lot of people, they don't know that you actually have to lead gen and put yourself out there. They just think, you go into the office Monday morning and buyers and sellers just like walk in and be like, hey, will you sell my house or will you buy my house? It's like, no,
Yeah.
you have to go out and find them. And I somewhat blame all the TV shows like Million Dollar Listing, Selling Sunset, all those, because they show the fun, sexy side of real estate where they have these, wealthy clients and they're seeing mansions. They don't show how they got those clients. Like a lot of those clients, it took probably years to build the relationships. And they don't, that just doesn't make good TV cold calling or anything like that. Um, so yeah, a lot of people learn that once they get into real estate. But when you got into real estate, you learned that you were an introvert. So before you didn't know you were introverted. So what's kind of your definition of like an introvert and extrovert?
Yeah, so it took years before I was in real estate for about 3 or 4 years before I realized I was an introvert. So it was like a long time of me burning myself out all the time, and I really see it as 2 definitions. The first is this energy management piece where being around other people is it uses energy for us introverts. For the extroverts, being around people it gives them energy. So it's like the give or the take.
Okay.
And for that reason, we introverts need alone time to really recharge. And that's where it can be really challenging because that alone time is hard to get. That's the first piece of the definition. The second piece is how we process information. Introverts tend to process more quietly, one on one, either just thinking or journaling. Extroverts tend to kind of need to talk things out to process information. So you'll see those differences in people in your life.
I love that, and it actually took me a while to learn that because I also learned I was lean more introverted because I always thought, an extrovert was just someone who has energy and isn't shy, could talk to people, which I am.
Yeah.
And then I always thought an introvert was just kind of didn't talk much and shy. But
Yeah.
I learned that wasn't the case. It's more like you said, what'd you say? Energy management. You
Yeah.
put that so perfectly because I could go out and, talk and socialize for hours, but then I need a day or two to myself to
Yeah.
recharge and recuperate. Where, like you said, the people that are more extroverted, they get energy from being around others, where we recharge and get energy just being by ourselves.
Right.
So it took me a while to learn that. So I do lean more towards introverted, where it shocks people. They're like, "Whoa, but you like talking to people." It's like, "Yeah, but I need like a day to recover after that."
Yeah, there's a lot of misinformation out there, and that's
Yes.
why I love being on podcasts and helping spread the message because I think a lot of people are actually more introverted than they might realize about
Mhm.
themselves.
Definitely. And then the second piece that you said where introverts more when we process information, it's more like it takes us a while. We like step back, think about it by ourselves versus just talking it out loud with others. We need like
Right.
time to process it on our own, which I'm also that way. So
Yeah.
I love those how you described that. I think that's perfect.
Thank you. And it really makes a difference. And the processing of information that can be really challenging for everyone to understand because a lot of times if you're I see this more in the corporate world than in the real estate world, but if you're in a group setting and there's a discussion going on, the introverts are going to be more quiet, but it's only because we're thinking through the stuff and we need time to process. And
Mhm.
so sometimes people might think that we have nothing to say when actually we have a lot to say. We're just waiting for the opportunity to say it.
Definitely. 100%. So your first few years as a real estate agent, you were experiencing some burnout and I guess because you were taught, traditional ways to lead gen and grow your business. So how was that experience? And then how did you start to shift and create your own way as that fit your introverted style?
The biggest change was in taking things off my plate and really focusing on the lead gen activities that were producing results. I was running around doing all these things and everything I was taught to do, which all work. The cold call, I was doing a lot of cold calling. That does work for people. It was not working for me the way that I felt like it should. And it was taking a lot of energy and I was not seeing the return. Then, instead of going and taking a nap or taking a break after that, after getting yelled at by for sale by owners all day, I would go to a networking event and I'd go out and be peopling even more and spending more and more energy.
Mhm.
That's where the burnout happened. But at the same time, I started to see results and actually get leads and get business from the networking I was doing. So the biggest change I made in my business once I started realizing that I'm an introvert and kind of what that means, I let go of the cold calling entirely and I refocused that energy on more networking at a higher level and balancing that with enough alone time so that I wasn't burning myself out all the time.
Definitely. So with the networking, did you feel I mean, that was still going out and socializing, but did you feel like that was less taxing on your energy than the cold calling? Or was it just the two combined were taxing?
It was the combination that was a problem for me. It was too much, and I didn't have enough time in between or at all to recharge. So I would spend, half my energy half the day, and then I'd spend the other half, and then I'd be left with nothing. So instead, I mean, it was taxing in a different way because
Mhm.
networking takes energy from me. It's being around people, I have to be on, but the conversations are more fun and it leads to business, which makes it worth it.
Mhm.
So I can plan to have a quiet morning and be doing market research or following up on leads or whatever, like more on my own. And then I can go to an event and I have plenty of energy left over because I didn't already spend it all.
Definitely. And also, I feel like some people like talking on the phone better. Some people like face to face better. So
Yeah.
I always tell new agents, you have to lead generate. Like that is the lifeline of your real estate business. But you don't necessarily have to cold call or you don't have to door knock. I tell them there's hundreds of ways to lead generate. Find two or three that fit your personality, where every time you do it, there's not a lot of friction, where it just comes natural. For
Right.
instance, like networking events, or some people love doing open houses. I'm like, great, do like 4 or 5 open houses a week and just go all in on those. And then there are those people that love cold calling. So
Sure.
whatever your jam is, just find it and go all in on that, because all the strategies work if you work them, but they're not going to work long term if it's going against like your energy and what it's not going to be very what's the word I'm looking for? Sustainable. So you
Right.
got to find a way that's sustainable and works for you. And I even try to teach people you could even combine your business with your passion. Like you could like niche down.
Yeah.
For instance, me and my business partner, we probably have one of the most like niche real estate teams. And so basically, me and my business partner were both vegan. So our real estate team is called Vegan Realty. And it's so funny. Everyone's like, what does that even mean? Like, are the houses vegan? Even the vegans are like, what are the houses made of lettuce and tofu? Like, and
That's funny.
essentially, we're just like, oh, we're just vegan agents. And our big thing is that we donate $1,000 to animal rescues every time we help someone buy or sell a house, and that's kind of how we give back. And then it also puts kind of like a mission behind the business. So we kind of combine the business with the passion and doing it, branding ourselves like that. We, couple times a year, we literally get a client cold calling us. Like they just Google vegan realtor and we're the only ones that pop up.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool if one, you brand yourself correctly, but it has to be authentic. And then how other ways we would get clients is we would just do events. And with
Hmm.
those events, we would be like, what do we like to do? For instance, we're in LA, so I love to hike. So we would just organize group hikes through our real estate team and we'd get 10, 20, 30 people together. And I'm like, even if no one showed up, like I would still have a blast because I wanted to hike.
Yeah.
Well, my business partner loves board games. So we would, at the office, we would do a board game night and we'd get 20, 30 people. And so it's just, you could do what you think is fun, just create an event around that and just do it through your real estate team. And it's just
Hmm.
so fun, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So,
man.
yes. So,
Absolutely.
uh, so you figured out that you're an introvert, and then did that lead to you like wanting to teach this to agents because other agents were experiencing what you experienced? And then did that lead to the book? Or what was that journey like?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it went down. It led to me I already liked teaching classes in my office and I enjoyed helping the new agents get up to speed. And so I had a coach who asked me um what's the unique value proposition that you can offer if you want to start helping people at a higher level, coaching, teaching classes. And immediately I thought of, well, no one's really talking about this. And that
Hmm.
was back in 2018. There are some people talking about it now, but even now, it's still not like a super hot topic. So, but I think it's important because you have to know what's going to work for you, know that not all lead gen strategies are going to work for all agents because how could they?
Hmm.
And that that's okay. And it's okay to do exactly what you're saying. I teach the exact same thing. Find the things that you enjoy doing that will still put you in front of people and make it more sustainable and make it more enjoyable for you. Because if you hate your activity you're trying to do every day, it's not going to work.
Hmm.
So that led to me creating my first class. I ran around New England and taught it for free. and collected testimonials and tried to spread the word. And now it's grown to a bunch of different things. It's several classes, it's group coaching, it's the wellness, KW wellness,
Mhm.
which is really cool. I get to be the advocate for introverts for the whole company, which is amazing. Um, and then that led to the book. So that was 7 years later. I finally got the book done, and it had been in my mind for many years, and it was finally just the right time. So I feel like that's a lot of things for small business owners. Is you might have a lot of great ideas, but not everything can get done at the same time. So what's the
Mhm.
right timing for that thing?
Definitely. And then I also feel like the book, you a lot of the experience was from teaching that class over and over and over and learning how other agents are using it, like what you taught them and how it's, they're getting success with it, which could take time. And I
Yeah.
assume those are, some of the things you put into the book. So even though you wrote it 7 years later, it was all in the making of that time teaching it.
Yes.
Well,
Absolutely. And it's
I have a book idea that I want to write. So what is like the writing process like of writing a book?
it is a lot. It took me about a year, and it was very overwhelming at first until I realized I already had most of the content in my classes. I just had to repackage it. So I made an outline. I'm very much a high C, like list personality. So I've started
Mhm.
with my outline and then I just filled it in. So every weekend I would take 2 to 4 hours and write and get as much done as I could. And I knew I have it here. I knew I wanted it to be like a thicker, more substantial book.
Mhm.
And so I had a word count goal that I had in mind. And um, yeah, so it's time on task over time, as they say.
Awesome. Can you show the book?
Yeah, it's Move Over Extroverts.
Awesome.
No.
I love
Yeah.
that. I want to read the Amazon book description real quick. I think it's super cool.
Sure.
So, Move Over Extroverts: How to Build a Successful Real Estate Career as an Introvert. As an introverted agent, Ashley struggled to fit into an industry that seemed built for extroverts. Now, after coaching and training thousands of real estate agents across the country and specializing in working with introverted agents, she is thrilled to offer her best solutions and advice in one place: this book. Here, you'll learn how to avoid burnout by managing your energy effectively, create a schedule that maximizes productivity without overwhelm, find lead generation strategies that work for you, not against you. You don't you don't have to change who you are to succeed. With the right approach, you can build a real estate business that feels effortless, fulfilling, and completely you. Oh, that's so good. I love it.
It's a good one.
Awesome. So, the book, let's hop into it. What is kind of some of the meat of the book?
Well, it starts out more theory. It's broken into 4 sections. The first section is energy management, then time management, so that grounds it from very kind of ethereal to, okay, let's be more practical. How does this translate to your calendar? The third section is lead generation. So I go through a lot of examples of specific common lead gen tools and how that can work for an introvert. And then the fourth section is the contract to close process, essentially, including showings and open houses and all the things that we have to do as an agent once we have done the lead gen.
Hmm.
So, and how do you manage all that as an introvert? Um, so it's very practical. The chapters are extremely short, and that was by design because I know that we don't usually have long attention spans, but it's also meant to be like a guide. So you can go to the table of contents and be like, okay, I need to figure out how to do open houses or just something, and you can flip to that section.
Awesome. So the first section is energy management.
Yeah.
Awesome. Could you go over maybe one or two strategies how an introvert can properly manage their energy?
Sure. I mean, it starts with awareness. And so I take people through exercises where they can make a list of everything that they know that drains their energy and then make a list of everything that you know recharges you. Oh, there's also freebies. So throughout the book, there's a URL you can put in in exchange for your email address. I'll send you like templates for these lists. And so that it starts with that awareness of like, what are you doing and how does it affect you? And then one of the other really important categories or chapters in the book is the section on boundaries, a part of energy management. It's so important, not just in business, but in personal life too. So there's
Mhm,
a whole chapter just on creating and maintaining boundaries, which I think is really, really cool.
mhm, definitely. And then I want to dive into lead generation. That's what I geek out over about. And I feel like that's what most agents kind of struggle with is finding their lead generation strategy and then actually consistently doing it.
Right.
So what are I know you said in the beginning networking was a big lead generation strategy for you. Is that still your main source? Is in-person networking?
That is one of my main sources. I did step out of production for a couple years. I was a productivity coach full time for a few years.
Mhm.
Now that I'm back in production, I am focused on networking and I'm doing a lot of mailers, which
Awesome.
is fun for me because I get to just sit there and hand address and
And
it's
then they
very
reach out to you.
and then they reach out to me. I had one text me this morning. He's in California. He's like, I got your letter. We're interviewing agents this week. When can you chat? I'm like, tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah, it's so cool when you find a strategy where people call you, especially as an
Yeah,
introvert. You don't want to call them, you want them
silly.
calling you.
Silly. Yeah.
Awesome. So then what working and teaching this to agents, what are some like cool or unique lead gen strategies that you have seen agents doing as an introvert?
I think it's great when people find what is going to work for them and take something they're already doing in their personal life and turn that into a way to find clients. That's
Mhm.
the easiest place to start versus
Definitely.
adding in some brand new habit that you have to learn. No, just like where are you already spending time with people and how can you make that a little bit more purposeful in finding your business? So
Absolutely.
that's what works, and that's not specific to introverts, that's for everybody,
Yeah, I was gonna say this book, I feel like the principles could apply to any sales or any sales job,
for
but you
sure.
know, you're in real estate, so you tailored it to real estate because yeah, the principles apply. Everything's universal, no matter if it's real estate, you're selling life insurance, cars, whatever. You just need to find a way that fits your personality. So I love it. And then do you still teach your class to market
Mhm.
centers?
I do, yes, I teach most often on Zoom, but I will fly out and teach in person occasionally.
Awesome. When are you teaching one anytime soon for the KW Wellness group?
Yes, so for KW and Wellness, I teach customized webinars that I do once a month for them. So it's not my OG introvert class. It's more like the last one I did was last week, and it was 7 different holiday marketing ideas that are
Mm,
introvert friendly or how to make them introvert friendly. So like every
awesome.
month is a different topic.
Is it a certain day of the month, like a last Thursday of the month or something?
It's usually a Thursday. Yep,
Thursday?
usually a Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and it's usually like the 2nd or 3rd, but not always. I go through the months at a time and just tell them when I can do it.
Awesome. Well, I definitely want to attend the next one.
Yeah.
So so we got connected through KW Wellness. What is like your health journey or what got you into KW Wellness?
I got into it through the kind of mental health aspect. and actually through Tyler, who runs the ADHD group. So he connected me with Kimberly, and we just thought this could be it's more mental wellness than physical wellness,
Mhm.
but it's really important because the stress and burnout is real, and it can have an effect on the body as well as the mind. So if I can help people better manage their energy, and I know keep coming back to that, but it's so crucial to everyone's core, and it's just not talked about enough. We talk about how you spend your time and your money. We need to talk more about how you spend your energy. So that
Yeah,
actually might be my next book. Don't tell anybody.
like an energy budget or
Yeah.
but yeah,
Where
definitely,
am I spending it? Is it worth it? How's the return? All that stuff.
definitely. Are there certain things in health that you do, like yoga or walks, that give you energy?
Yeah, those are the things I do, actually. Yoga and walks, that's all I do. I will do a little bit of weightlifting occasionally, only if no one else is in the gym, and, but I don't run or anything. I hate running, it's terrible for me.
Yes, me too, but I signed up for a marathon. So I'm not a
Wow.
runner. I used to hate it. Now I don't hate it, but I just don't like it. But I'm starting to get to the point where I'm neutral. But I signed up for a marathon in Hawaii. And I was like, oh, that's kind of two bucket list. But it's not like a serious competitive marathon. There's no cutoff time, no qualification. And
Mhm.
a lot of the locals will even just walk the whole marathon. I was like, I could walk a marathon. But my goal is just to finish, maybe run half, walk half, who knows. But
That's exciting.
yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. It's December 14th. But
Coming
yeah,
up.
I think doing something physical gives most people energy, such you said walking and yoga. I love walking. Walking is like honestly, it's so underrated as a exercise. Most people don't even see it as an exercise.
Yeah.
But if most Americans just power walk like 20, 30 minutes a day, it would change their health. So yes, get out in nature, walk, yoga, do whatever, but you got to do something physical. That'll definitely help with your energy.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
also, this kind of brings me into on your Instagram bio, you are a cat mom. I'm sure your cats give you energy.
I do love my cat. I just have one. He's an only child.
Oh,
Um, and he's adorable. He actually made an appearance in character form on the book. This is him right here.
oh, on the couch. What's your
He's on
cat's
the
name?
couch. He's on the couch.
What's his
So,
name?
his name is Marty.
Marty. Awesome. I love that he made an appearance on the book.
He did. He's famous now. But he occasionally will be an energy suck if he's being a jerk. 'Cause he's orange, so orange cats are nuts. But usually when he's being sweet, then he's a good energy recharge.
Awesome. Would you I think I've heard someone made a comparison where like dogs are more extroverted and cats are more introverted. Would you think that's accurate?
I do think that's accurate. Yeah. They're
Have you ever
certainly
went
more outgoing.
what's that?
Uh, I said dogs are certainly more outgoing.
Definitely. Definitely. Would have you always grown up with cats?
Yeah. I've never had a dog. Dogs are not my thing. They're kinda scary. To be honest, like the big ones, they scare me. I have seen some little dogs that are cute, but I've always been a cat person.
Definitely.
Crazy.
I love both. I lean a little more towards dogs, but growing up, my family, we had cats and dogs all in one household. I don't have any pets now, but I eventually do want to get another rescue dog. I'm a sucker for old lady pit bulls. That was my last dog. Yeah. They're so
Nice.
sweet too. Like they do look big and scary. They get a bad rep, but they're so sweet. But I love all the animals. I love them all. So, is there anything else you'd like to touch about on the book or as being an introverted in real estate?
Yeah, actually, I always forget to mention this. I do host a free book club on Zoom every week,
Awesome.
and we just go through a chapter of the book every week, and it's pretty cool. So those are Thursdays at 1 p.m. Eastern. I also record them all and I put them on my YouTube channel. So if you want to go and like binge listen the other episodes, it's nice. Like the last one we did, we talked about solo vacations and everyone shared stories of solo trips they've taken or trips they'd like to take, and it's a cool discussion.
Awesome. So that's a book club every Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern. You do it on Zoom. Is that open to all agents?
It's open
Or
to everybody.
awesome. And then are the is it a different book every week, or once you finish that one chapter of the book, then you do another book?
No,
Mm.
we're going through my book.
Oh, you're awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. Perfect. And then after that you talk about different topics or subjects like you said, solo vacations and things like that.
Yeah, we
Oh.
just go through one chapter of the book every week, and solo vacation is one chapter of the book. So we went through that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I don't know what we're going to do once we're done with all the chapters. There are 50 some odd, so it's going to take us a year. I started it, I want to say in May. So I haven't figured out what we're going to do next, if we're going to keep it going or I don't know. We'll see.
That's awesome. So speaking of solo vacation, do you have an experience to share?
Yeah, one of my favorite solo trips was a river cruise that left out of Rome. And so I had to get from Boston to Rome and then to the port and then get on the boat and went to a couple of different spots in Italy and Spain and France. And it was really cool because that was like kind of a big international trip that I did on my own. It was very empowering. I recommend everyone do an international trip on your own if you can.
Mhm. What inspired that for you?
Honestly, at that point, I just wanted to go and I didn't have anyone I wanted to go with. So I'm like, all right, I was single. I'm like, I'm just going to go. I
Awesome.
see a lot of people wait around and don't go because they have no one to go with. Just go.
Mhm. Even if it just go in yourself, make
Go by
yourself.
yourself.
Yeah,
If you wanna
definitely.
make friends, you can. I didn't particularly want to talk to anyone, so I didn't. It was great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I will get all your show notes and information links. I'll put them all in the show notes. And is there anything else that I didn't mention that you want to talk about, or do you kind of want to? My favorite segment is the joke off at the end.
All right, I'm ready. I'm ready for the jokes.
Awesome, awesome. So yeah, I just love corny dad jokes. So I'll go first. Uh,
Alright.
I thought this joke was fitting. So, what do introverts and cats have in common?
Ooh, I don't know what.
They both panic when someone knocks at the door.
Good one. Yes. Dude, when I lived in a single family house, I would panic when someone knocked on my door,
Yeah.
and I would hide.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah, no, I'm in a big high-rise apartment now, so nobody's knocking at my door, thank God.
There we go.
Alright, that's a good one. I wrote mine down here. Okay. Why don't scientists trust atoms?
Scientists plus atoms. I don't know.
Because they make up everything.
Oh, that's a good one. That is good because they
Straight
make up.
from the internet.
Yes. Awesome. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Ashley. I'm probably gonna join the Zoom
Please do.
Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern. That is super cool. Thank you. This was a blast. I feel like so many agents could benefit from this because a lot of people do are starting to learn that, oh, maybe I do lean a little more introverted than extroverted. So
Yeah.
very beneficial.
Thank
And
you.
that is a wrap. Thank you.
Thank you.